The great wealth transfer is coming. I expect it to begin in April. It's going to be truly historic.
Well,
Why it's important? Yep.
let me ask you something because there are others that have watched your videos and they say, what does the wealth transfer really look like?
Great question. And what I can tell you is no one knows exactly what it looks like, but we can talk about how this is going to potentially play out. But what it could be is again, it's the greatest move of God's Spirit, one of them compared to like, the Red Sea parting, which is only a localized area. This will be a worldwide wealth transfer because again, when a seal opens, it's worldwide.
Hmm.
So what it's going to look like is the collapse of the financial system we know, which means that the banks go bye-bye because the banks are all part of the Federal Reserve System and then the fiat money system, which is not backed by gold anywhere in the world.
Right.
All money is fiat. So it's going to start with the collapse of the US dollar, which is going to reverberate across the entire globe. And all currencies are going to blow up. Banks are going to blow up across the world. And then that will lead to what it's going to look like. Like I can just kind of talk as we go through this, right? What it's going to look like is if the banks collapse, that means that the notes, because we are no different than Israel, bound in bondage to Pharaoh. The present day pharaohs are, the banking is the Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon, right? The bankers, the whole world is enslaved by the bankers and mystery Babylon. So if the banks blow up, their banking system blows up by the hand of God, gold and silver explode in price. What is a jubilee? Well, think about this, right? A jubilee by definition means a return of the land. So land will be returned to the people
Hmm. That's
for
awesome.
free, for free. Okay.
Wow.
Or so, and I don't know what that precisely. I don't know what that means, but you just have to read Leviticus, right? And you'll start to get a understanding of what it specifically is saying. But it's a year of rest. It's a holy year, and it's a return of proper. So families come back together.
Wow.
Okay, that you will dwell in you'll be secure and safe. So you have to like look at the key words, and the land will yield its fruits.
Mm.
So what does that mean? It means there are things hidden in the earth that we're not supposed to know about, but that we're about to see massive earthquakes and eruptions, and the land will expose what's hidden.
Wow. Mm.
So this is what's coming. So, and that will also fulfill the prophetic word of Kim Clement, right? When the earthquake hits, potentially, I believe this summer, the land will yield its produce. The land will yield the fruits that have been hidden. So what's about to be revealed? I don't know, but it's the year of Jubilee, right? And I will command blessings on you sufficient for 3 years.
Mm.
Okay, so that's 24, 25, and 26. Wasn't Jesus Christ ministry 3 years? You see how this blessings, the
Yes.
Jubilee, right? So
Mm.
it's all history repeating itself. So Leviticus, the 3 years are written in there. This is in Leviticus. And then guess what? We didn't talk about this, but we talked maybe in the last interview, but the Haman effect.
Yeah.
There's three blood moons starting in 24, 25, and 26, all on Purim. This hasn't ever happened in history to have three consecutive blood moons on three consecutive Purims, but it's happening on the next three. Huh, what a coincidence. It happens to rhyme with Leviticus.
Wow.
What a coincidence that if you take a Daniel cycle, it's 3.5 years, 3 years. The cycle is a half of year starting this year and then goes 3 years, 24, 25, and 26. And that takes in the end of 26, which is there's your 3.5, because this year is the half
Right.
year.
My God.
So, and then it's a right for redemption of means of finance. So the finances will be restored. So,
Wow.
and the release, am I am the Lord your God who brought Egypt brought Israel out of the land of Egypt. So we're about to be freed from bondage. So you just got to go read the Bible, right, and you read specific scriptures to understand what a jubilee is. So the banks go belly up. They go, I'm not belly, they go bye-bye, which means that they hold your death grips, the mortgages.
That's
Well,
right.
if the banks are gone, the death grips are gone, your mortgages go bye-bye. How do you get free? How do you get return of the land? Well, because all loans are canceled.
Yes, yes.
And that's just a cancellation of the debts in a jubilee. But then you've got, when you read Leviticus, when you read further on in Matthew, it talks about blessings, right? 30, 60, 100-fold. So the jubilee is the removal from bondage from Pharaoh, from the present day pharaohs, and that's the freedom we're about to get. The freedom we're about to get is going to be mind blowing. It's going to be the greatest time the world has ever seen, in the worst of times the world has ever seen. Now, the reason I say that, Francine, is because it depends on what side of the fence you're sitting on.
Yeah, come on.
Right? What seeds have you sown? So what happened, if you study what happened with the Mayflower, right? They landed, and then the next year was harvest. So they landed would be 2022. That's because you have to add the 2 years of what happened to Joseph, pits of the palace. And then that also ties in the 1,260 days from Corona. And that means that this end of June, it's over. And then that means this year is harvest. So this November is harvest. What you have sown, thus shall you reap.
My God.
And so these people are going to have the worst year of their life, while we, the church, has the best year of their life ever, because this is a freedom from 400 years from when Mayflower landed, because the whole thing's been always under the control of England, back to the kings. And that's why all the presidents of the United States all have a blood lineage to the King of England. I forget the king's name, King Henry or something, whatever it was. And so all of them have bloodline lineage except for Trump and one other guy. So why do they hate him? Because he's not in the family.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Right. So
yeah.